everybody! I boil this down to 4 core learning lessons that I want to invite you to apply in your business. Today, whether you already have it started or you're just getting started, this applies to both of you. I want to share about the mistakes I learned from so you don't have to make the same ones and you can set your business, your dream, your mission up to be successful and scalable from the start. I'm going to be honest. Since I was in college, I have started many different businesses. And all the time it came from this spark of the idea, like, oh my God, this could be a great business idea. I think people would really like this. So I'd go and make the thing. I would order the supplies and then I would start pricing it out and sharing it. One of the first things I made, first companies I had, was actually making jewelry. And I would make it in class while I was in college, and then I would sell it through local shops where I lived in Sarasota, Florida. So this is kind of representative of the very first thing I started. And through each of these different initiatives, all the way up to my company now, Wombwise, which helps women to align with cyclical wellness through both chocolate and education, I have gathered these learning lessons. So let's get rolling. And as we're talking through this, I want to invite the biggest dreamer in you. Invite you to step into who you were as a child, full of imagination and expansive possibilities. That is my favorite way to step into business, while also getting these practical tips of how to make those dreams come to life. So, number 1, on that note, we try to start small. We try to start basically a job for ourselves, a self-employment situation or a small business. And we don't set our goals high enough. We don't set the vision big enough to where it can invite in others and others can be supported by it in a grand scale. And maybe you're hearing this and you're like, no, that's not for me. Like, I want to stay small. Like, fine, if that's your life vision, fine. But I want to talk to the big dreamers, the people who want to change the world, and invite you to even expand that scope. Number 1 mistake that people often make is they don't start big enough. I want you to take your vision, your goals, and 100x it. Imagine what that could become if you had 100 people supporting you, or if it got to live on for 100 years and pass on to the next generation. What does that vision look like for the next generation? If you got to spend 100 months, 100 cycles devoted to this, what could it grow into? So that's number 1. I want you to set really bold goals and expansive visions for this business. And I included at the bottom my bold goal setting blueprint so you can be guided in that journey, because sometimes in the society where we're taught to be realistic, really prompted to be successful, to put ourselves in these boxes: doctor, lawyer, now maybe content creator, marketing specialist. Our imagination could start to get stifled and rigid. We may have even had people in our life, I know I did, who said, you got to be more realistic. And the dreamer in me, since I was a little kid up until now, has always known that I create my reality. So I get to choose what is realistic, and so do you. So let's go ahead at the start of this business journey, or as you're growing your business, throw out the R of the SMART goals. Or better yet, step into that place of you get to choose what's realistic. And you can be specific about that. You can be measurable about that. You can believe in yourself that whatever you hope for is achievable. And you can set a time for it. For me, I like to plan my goals in 10 years. But again, you'll hear more about that in the bold goal setting blueprint. I invite you to share the dream that you set. You can DM me through Instagram. I'll link it here. Number 2, you follow only the dream, only the mission, and not the dollars. Rather than finding this harmonious synergy between the two, think about these two symbiotic species in nature. It's like the mushroom and the tree. They work together. The mushroom helps the tree communicate and stay connected with all the other trees, and the tree helps bring nourishment to the mushroom. Basically, we need dollars to make our dreams happen. We need dollars to make the grand scale of impact we want to on the world. And I learned this the hard way through starting things before I had my personal financial capital foundation really solid, which is okay if you're there. I was there too, and you can make it work. As dreamers, and as people who like to stretch reality a little bit, we might want to skip the dollar part, but what I want to challenge you to do is to get really clear, along with that bold goal, for how much you want to make on a yearly basis, and then how much you need to make monthly in revenue and profit through this business in order to hit those goals. We're going to get really clear about that pathway, because once you know that, then you can choose the supportive, synergistic business model that's going to take that mission and meet it with the monetary value to meet those goals. This really comes down to the business model that you choose, the pathway you choose to generate revenue from, whether it's a subscription model, whether it's coaching, scalable online education, whether it's a product. There are a million different ways that you can think about scalability in your business in order to have a business model that really supports your vast goals. There are levels of scalability in this. It could be product, others are hand making. That's limited always by time and energy. Or it could be something that's online. It could be replicated. You can make it once, pour your love and energy into it, and then it gets to meet so many more people without your continued time and energy. So that's just this example of the scales of scalability. You want to lean towards the business models that are easier effort, maybe a lot more initial input, but then they pay off over time as they're replicated. So I'll share more about that at the end when I share about my Cycle-Boosted Business Accelerator. So recap, basically, don't just follow the dream, also find the avenue where the dollars can flow in to support the dream and to support your impact. If you want to become a part of my Cycle-Boosted Business Accelerator, we will take that step from mission and dream into monetization with full support of me and a cohort group. You will get to really refine what that business model is that meets your dream and meets your goals. Number 3, we keep our idea to ourselves until it feels perfect, until it feels ready to be shared, ready to be launched, only to start marketing it and launching it and receive crickets or not receive this level of sales that you were hoping for. And the deeper issue behind this experience is really not marketing soon enough, not talking to people about your ideas soon enough. So really, instead of thinking, I have this idea, now I'm going to make it, that product development side, I want you to switch that whole paradigm and think, I have this idea and now I'm going to market it before I'm ready, which is so daunting. It's daunting to even get started making something, let alone sharing it with the world. But I have a lot of tips and tricks for how to do this in a more easeful way. Number 1, start with people you know. Just start practicing pitching this idea to people you know, with the caveat of finding people that are supportive and will believe in that before it's true. Another tip is going into conversations with questions about that pain point that you want to help people to solve and that dream that you want to help people create. And if you just enter into conversations with some questions that can guide your development process, then that's a more natural way to go about what in business is called customer discovery and market research. This is a step that It's so vital when you're approaching business from a mission-driven lens, because so much of that is about getting your own little self-ego out of the way and letting what I'll call the divine, the flow of inspiration, the flow of service to really live through you and embody that instead of embody the limiting stories that can come up in us and the fears that can come up in us. So with that sense of business being about mission and business being about service, of course, we need to go and talk to the people that we want to serve. And we need to ask them questions. We need to really understand what's going on in their reality, this type of solutions they're looking for, how big this problem is that they're facing, and from the business perspectives, what they're willing to input in time, effort, and money in order to solve this problem or get to this dream. And all of these things help us shape our model. So again, this is one of the steps from mission into monetization that we'll walk through in the Cycle-Boosted Business Accelerator. I'm so excited for. 4 is one that is near and dear to my heart from many cycles of doing this myself. And it's that you're so passionate, you're so devoted, you go all in, which is beautiful. Maybe you're starting a business for the first time and you're trying to do a million things at once. You're trying to learn all the things, you're trying to implement all the things. And if you're like me and have perfectionist tendencies, you want to do all of those things to the max potential. And then your body says, I am burnt out. I am stressed. I am exhausted. I am tired. I don't want to do this anymore. When really, you deeply care about that mission, but maybe the method you're going about it is not the most sustainable for your body. And that leads to this energy of wanting to give up, of not knowing how to move forward. So it's my mission in life to help people build these bold dreams without burning out. I believe this comes through really understanding the cycles of our bodies. And that's why I call my work Cycle-Boosted Business. It's listening to our own cycles and wild nature and aligning with those cycles. So for women, as an example, this looks like the monthly cycle, the 28 to 33-day rhythm that we go through in our menstruating years. And during each part of the cycle, there are key superpowers that are unlocked through the different hormones and brave wavelength states that we embody in each of these 4 phases. You can take the actions of your business and map it to those 4 phases. And this is like swimming with the ocean rather than against it. An example of this right now. I'm ovulating, I'm feeling an abundance of energy, so I'm using my days often to make content like this and filming 4, 5, 6 videos in a day when typically in other phases of my cycle, I get done with 1 video and I'm like, I'm done with that. And it feels like the strenuous process. But right now, it feels easeful and flowing because I'm aligned with my cycle. Another example is there's always so many choices that we need to make in business, so many different pathways and ways of presenting, positioning, marketing, doing sales. So all of these choices come in, and it can be sometimes hard to silence the other voices and get really clear in our position as a leader of how to drive your business forward, how to bring this idea into fruition and grow it. So the importance of connecting with your intuition becomes super powerful. As women, every time we go into menstruation, since the beginning of time, ancient cultures knew this. This is a time of receptivity and connection to our intuitive guidance. Since the beginning of time, ancient cultures knew this. If you join Cycle-Boosted Business Accelerator, you get to learn more about the science and the ancient wisdom behind this. But what I can say is that by writing down the questions that I want to get clear on in my business and in my life before I go into my bleeding time, and then I go into that time and allow for some rest, allow for some receptivity, then the insights I get, the new innovations in my business, the new clarity of direction, expansion of goals is insane. It's like clockwork once you start practicing this. Recapping. Number one, we try to start really small. We don't set our goals wide enough. Rather than letting our dreamers come fully alive, letting our visions expand 100x to support others, to scale, to support our biggest financial and impact goals. Number two, you only follow the dream, not the dollars that will ground it into reality. You go based off your inspiration purely, which is beautiful, let me say, rather than getting clear about the revenue generating business model that you want to choose in order to truly make the impact and make the income that you want to achieve in your life. Number three, you keep your idea to yourself. Maybe this feels safe. Maybe you want to get it all right before you start sharing it with the world. Rather than you have an idea and then you market it and immediately you get feedback. That feedback builds your momentum to keep building. It gives you insights about specifically what to build, who you're serving, what their needs truly are. And it starts helping you generate leads. So when you do launch something, you already have people eager and waiting for it. Number four, most importantly, you go all in and you're pushing and you're grinding and you're trying to do all the things at once. You're trying to do them to the best of your ability and you're doing great, but your body's like, oh, burning out. Rather than allowing yourself to recognize that as women, we are cyclical beings, as humans, we are cyclical beings, and our wellness is the foundation of our business, it's the foundation of our wealth. So, by aligning your business cycles with your natural cycles within, you can keep sustaining, you can keep growing, you can keep scaling your business into 10 years, 50 years, 100 years beyond where you're at right now. If you want to immediately apply this learning in your life so it truly makes a change, go ahead and check out the PDF document below. And it's like a workbook guide to walk you through applying these in your life and business. So if you're liking what you're hearing today and you want to know deeper about each of these steps and know the full process of moving your idea, your mission into monetization, or if you want to grow your business, then I want to invite you into the Cycle-Boosted Business Accelerator. This is a container that takes the concepts of business and makes them approachable, soulful, puts them into this compassionate feminine lens that helps us to really connect with the key parts of business, from marketing to sales to scaling. And most importantly, you're going to have accountability and support through each step of the way. This is a 3-month journey. It's very all in, full presence, and you'll get 2 one-on-one meetings with me a month where we're really going to take the learnings that you'll do through the course and apply them together to your specific business. And you're going to have my full-on brain and heart power through our sessions, but you're also going to have the support of the team, the cohort that you're going through this journey with. These are fellow women who are also building bold visions without burning out, who value their wellness, value making a huge impact on the world. And we get to go through this process together and support each other each step of the way. So every month we'll meet up twice as a cohort. Once we'll get to share and test out our ideas like I talked about. One of the steps, customer discovery, market research is so important, and also one of the most daunting steps to start sharing that vision before it's ready. In this Cycle-Boosted Business Accelerator, we create this sacred space for dreams to bloom in and for them to be shared before they're fully formed. We're birthing something together. And secondly, you'll get to learn the cycle-boosted business blueprints to set up the scalable systems and have those foundations from the beginning, like marketing, like sales, the customer nurturing process of continuing to build relationships with your customers, positioning your offer in a way that expands the perceived value of it, from web design blueprints to marketing funnels. You'll have all of these systems basically handed to you to where you can plug and play your own business concept within it. Last month of our container, we'll get to strategize on how to position the product. And you'll hear direct feedback, direct insights from other people in the cohort on the strategy behind your business, your product, your service. This is really about taking your boldest dreams and moving them into action, having support and accountability along the way, getting the structure, the skills, the systems, the support to thrive in this new chapter or in this growing chapter if you already have a business and you want to take it to the next level. So I am super excited to be launching this. I've compiled everything that I've learned along the way in my many iterations of building businesses and my passionate, devoted love of learning about business and bringing it together with the cycles of nature, the cycles of our bodies, with wellness. That's truly my unique approach to business that I want to bring to the world. Reframing it as this positive medium to bring our missions to life through. If you're interested in fully living your max potential mission in this life, if you're also interested in making money along the way to support you, your family, your community, your impact in the world, then I encourage you to check out this container and see if it's a good fit for you. If it lights up your soul, excites you, maybe makes you a little nervous in some ways. If you're not completely sure and you want to have a conversation with me about it, when you go on my website through the link below, at the bottom of the Cycle-Boosted Business Accelerator page, you'll see a link to book a call with me. Having a call with me, I go in with the intention of how can I help you see your max potential? How can I help you expand your dream? And how can I show you clear steps to achieve it successfully and sustainably? So from the bottom of my heart, I hope you go and check out the resource below